Hello and welcome to the Sideboard. I am Reuben Bresler and I am here with Star City Games Invitational Top 8 competitor Adam Boyd, who has brought quite a different tool to the table this time around. Not quite mono blue, but mono green instead. Tell us a little bit about the deck that you've chosen to bring today.
Alright, well, when we were looking at the new M13 cards and what we thought the format was going to look like, mono green was something most people thought about. And people have been playing it before, but we thought Rancor added a lot to the deck. So this is where I started. I had swords in here for the longest time. I thought this was going to be the best sword deck, but then in my testing I didn't like the swords at all. So I cut them to put the revenges back in the main to make the deck better against the other green decks that I thought I'd play against a lot. The Sword of War and pieces weren't any good. I would play games where I would go first turn mana guy, second turn sword, third turn equipped swing, and I would still lose because I wasn't developing my board.
Right. So tell me a little bit about the place of the swords are taken up a little bit by Rancor.
Yeah.
Right. So did you play with Rancor the first time around? You've been playing that?
I hadn't played it until the pre-release.
And you like it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane.
So tell us a little bit about why Rancor's good in this deck.
It lets you. Like, the nut draw is turn 1 mana guy, turn 2 Geist, and then put a Rancor on and swing for 4 on turn 2. It also solves the problem of your Dungrove Elders just getting chump blocked all the time, and it's also insane with Champion of Lambholt.
Right, so this is another little specialty we have here. We got 2 of Champion of Lambholt. Creatures with power less than Champion of Lambholt's power can't block creatures you control, and whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you get a +1/+1 counter on the champion. Talk to us a little bit about a creature that, on the surface, looks a little bit weak. It's a 1/1 for 3. It gets bounced by Vapor Snag just like everything else, but this loses value. Why is Champion so good right now?
It's really good against the green decks that don't have a lot of answers for it. They'll play like Bonfire, which isn't fast enough all the time, unless they miracle it. Cedric had one of these in his sideboard in a deck of the Invitational, and I thought it was awesome. And it gets much better with all the pump effects I'm playing, like the Revenge of the Hunted and the Rancors. So a lot of times you'll like play it on. I started out with just one, and I would green sun for it, and then I wanted to green sun for it every time. The card was just amazing, so I added a second one. It's just that good against the other green decks, and that's mostly what I thought I'd be playing against.
Now you referenced twice now Revenge of the Hunted, which is the green miracle. Gives +6/+6, trample, and lures all of their guys.
Yeah.
Why are you playing Revenge of the Hunted?
A lot of times it's a Plague Wind against them. A lot of times you put it on your champion and then they can't block anything. But it's actually not been that great for me.
Oh, okay.
It's been stuck in my hand a couple times where I don't get to 6, or I'll draw it when I don't have a creature in play, like after they play a sweeper or something. It hasn't been that great. I may cut one to play a sword.
Now, the third card that I'm looking at this list and I'm thinking, that's an interesting choice, is Nicolas Cage over here, Skinshifter. What made you decide that Skinshifter was going to be the card in this deck?
It was really hard to keep a hand that didn't have a first turn play or a Strangleroot Geist, so I wanted another 2-drop that could be aggressive. My first thought was Viridian Emissary because it works well with the Rancor because no one wants to block it. And then I remembered Skinshifter and played him. We were also thinking about Wandering Wolf, but I think this guy's just better. He can block guys with swords on them, and it just becomes a 4/4 trampler. He's really good. He fits the curve where I need him.
Now, one thing that is conspicuously missing from your deck, I see that you have Wolfir Silverhearts, but you're not playing M13 quote-unquote all-star. We don't know how good it's going to be yet, but Thragtusk. Thragtusk's been relegated to your sideboard.
Yeah.
Why aren't you? What made you choose that decision?
I tested him, and he wasn't that good against the other green decks. Like he's not great against Birthing Pod. Like green sunning for him just isn't exciting against anybody. Every time I drew him or was going to green sun for him, Silverheart was going to be better. And like every situation that I was playing him in, especially with the champions, the Silverhearts are just insane. So you can't not play those, and there's not enough room for another 5-drop. So they're in the board to come in against aggressive decks in Delver.
Nice. So talk a little bit about what your sideboard, what comes in for stuff.
All right, the sideboard's mostly thrown together. I wanted the Triumph and Garruk package to come in against the control decks where I cut the champions and the dismembers and the Revenge of the Hunted. So my plan was bringing the Triumphs, the Garruks, and the Beast Withins against like the Esper decks. I wanted a way to beat Hellish Norns and maybe like Titans if I saw them. So I put in Active Aggression since I can't play the creature that does that. I forget what he's called. Zealous Conscripts. Then Mental Misstep I board in against mirror matches in red-green to hit their mana guys or their enchantments. And then Crushing Vines does double duty. You can board it in against swords or you can board it in against flyers.
What's Team 8 come in against?
Yo, you never leave your Team 8 token in.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So what's your record? What are your matchups like?
2-1. I beat... I can't remember what I played round 1.
Well, in testing, what have your matchups been like?
All right, I started testing Thursday.
Sure.
I played against red-green decks and pod decks. And I was about 50-50 with those, but that was before Revenge of the Hunted, and that was before Silverheart, and that was before 2 champions, and that was before Dismember. I had Overrun in here at some point. So a lot of things I'm just trying out in this tournament that I haven't actually played with before. But I've thought about a lot, and I think the theories are sound.
Excellent. Well, we'll keep track of you throughout the day. Adam Boyd, thanks for joining us on the Sideboard.